Today's match reaction is brought to you by FanTeam, where you can win £100,000 in the second chance fantasy football season game. The links are in our description below and in the live comment section. Go check it out at the end of this stream. Smash that like and share button. Let's go, people. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Man United 0. An absolute embarrassment for Man United Football Club again. Outplayed, outrun, outworked, outmaneuvered. My biggest fear is being realized week in, week out. I've spoken about this for the previous 2 managerial changes, that I didn't believe in my heart that there would be change. There's always the possibility that better football arrives. There's always the possibility for bounces. But irrespective of what manager is at this club, what players we drop, what players we bring in, what players we sell, what players we buy, this club has lost its ability to navigate through difficult moments on a regular basis. And with the money this football club spends, it's imperative that you win games like today. Spurs winning, Arsenal dropping points. Your job is to win. Your job is to be competitive. And I said this on many spaces. I said it on many streams when everybody was screaming for Ollie to go. I believed he got to the end of his time. He had to be removed. But do not instantly believe that Man United's fortunes will change because he's gone. Rightfully, Bruno and Rashford were dropped. We still look the same. Whether we start Fred or not, we're consistently at this level. Man United will go for a 2 or 3 game period where we look good. Certain players aren't in. Manager might be here or there, whatever. See, I told you it would work. No. A decade of mediocrity, a decade of the standards being eroded at this football club are going to take a long, long time. A long time to be undone. RALF ain't going to do it in this space of time. The players, they're saturated in the mediocrity, and it isn't. I know everybody will talk about the style of play, the passing, the moving. It's mentality. It is purely, if you cannot see by now that it's the mindset, that either the lack of confidence, the overconfidence in some people, the lack of work, the lack of desire, the lack of putting your body on the line. Wolves, like in the Newcastle game, won most of the first balls and won all of the second balls. It's not because they're better players. It's because they wanted it more. Want and desire have become dirty words in football because people have equated it to some weird mythological Brexit. Italian football, Spanish football, Brazilian football, Argentinian football. And I name those 4 because they are famed through the ages. There is great technique, wonderful ability, amazing skill, brilliant formations, excellent patterns. But it is knitted together. The tapestry of their football is knitted together with heart rate, passion, desire. A fighting mentality. And this football club is lost. This football club is in the mud. Absolutely abhorrent. And the reason, yes, certain players we've got to talk about. Manager, we've got to talk about all of it. But listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's the same with every manager. It's the same with every squad we've had since Fergie's been here. Phil Jones did all right tonight, still lost. Bruno dropped, still lost. Start Cavani and Ronaldo, still lost. It doesn't matter what fullbacks play. We look the same. It doesn't matter that Ralph's here before him. We look the same. It didn't matter that Ollie was here before him. We look the same. It's the club. It's the club. And yeah, look, we might go on a run of good form in a few weeks' time. A new manager might come in and the football will start looking good for 2 weeks, a month, 6 months. This club's rotten in the middle. This club has no confidence. This club has no desire. This club doesn't care enough. It doesn't care enough about winning. It simply doesn't. Those players didn't want to win enough. And people can do all they want. Systems, formation. I don't care. Pep Guardiola's system is perfect. Do you know what makes his system so amazing? Of course, great passing, brilliant movement. But it's the work rate within the system. How quickly they win the ball back and reapply the pressure. How they try over and over and over and over and over again to do the same thing. Perseverance. They prepare and they persevere and they push through. And they win. This team, Bruno, I'll give you an example. Bruno came on and for 5 minutes, we got 3 or 4 crosses in the box. He almost scored. He put the cross in for Ronaldo, which he did score from. It was just offside. You think, right, sustain that. We fail, and then we shrink away again. No perseverance, no guts. And we saw in the opening 35 minutes of Ralph's first game that there was a chance this Man United team could push forward. The 4-2-2, the way we pressed, we saw that it could work. It isn't the passing and the move. Look, the passing and the movement has been terrible. But that isn't the biggest flaw. We ain't working hard enough. I don't think these players want to because they don't care enough, because the club doesn't care enough. It is simple maths. For 10 years, fans, pundits, writers have sat around scratching their heads and asses. Why can't Man United get it right? Everyone's looking for this nuanced, futuristic, quirky, edgy, football hipster answer about a style or a system. No, they just don't work hard enough. They don't work hard enough. They don't want it enough. Go and speak to any elite level sports person in the world and talk about hard work, talk about desire, talk about perseverance above and beyond their skill. Djokovic, Federer, Nadal. Yes, they've got an abundance of skill. Talk to them about their hard work. Talk to them about their fitness regime. Talk to them about how hard it is to keep motivating themselves to perform at that level. Speak to Lewis Hamilton. You think he just turns up and drives? Or do you think he perseveres? Do you think he puts in more man hours than any other driver ever in the history of elite level Formula One? The best of the best work the hardest. The best of the best push themselves through those hard moments. Man United don't want to do that. Of course, this is no echo chambers. You can give your opinion on why things stand. But I said it in the build-up to Ronaldo being sacked. I got excited at the appointment of Ralph in terms of what he's going to do upstairs. And I still have an air of hope. I'm always going to have hope. Can this guy get it right? Can this person turn it around? Can this individual make Man United get back to where they should be? But what do I always say? The trolls aren't going to admit I say this, but the viewers that watch the Terrace properly will. Don't count your chickens. Don't hold your breath. We'll see if this culture... The big reason I'm angry is they told us this cultural rebuild had happened. They told us that we were on our way back. They told us, look, Ollie's going, it's with a heavy heart, but we're ready to win. We have built a team with the desire, the skill set, the foundation to push on from and win. Okay, we've told us this now. You've told us we're going to get back to where we want to be. Let's see the fruits of this labor, which hundreds of thousands, millions, in fact, of Man United fans have pumped their money into. A new manager comes in. He says, we've got to work harder to make it work. They throw their toys out there, Pram. They don't want to train at night. Petulant. They don't want to fight on the football pitch. They don't want to fight on the football pitch. You saw it again tonight. Cowards. Cowards. Fiends. Charlatans. A disgrace to the badge, the working class families over the generations that have built this football club. Disgraceful. But you know why nothing's going to change? Because the owners don't care. They never really have. And look, we might win our next 3 or 4 games, look good, and everybody goes, oh, it's great. Gonna renew my season ticket, gonna buy the new shirt. Oh, I'm retweeting something. Let me get on the app and watch the press conference. Shame on you. Feeding this poison. That's all you're doing. Been saying it for years. I'm not going to yield from it. We're seeing it again already. We hope for a bounce. We're 0 bounce. None. I'm trying to think of something that don't bounce and I can't think of anything. It's shocking. The progression of Tottenham, they're not a World 1 team. More desire to win than we have. More desire to win than we have. They told us we're ready. They lied. That club lied to you again. Everyone wearing a shirt. Everybody that downloads their app. Everybody buying their merchandise. Everybody renewing their season tickets. It's partly on you. You've continued to feed the animal. You've continued to feed the snake. You let the wolf in the door and they've just eaten your fucking kids. Beware of wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what the Glazers are. Absolutely abysmal performance. The only player I'm going to say well done to tonight is Phil Jones. Man ain't kicked the ball in 2.5 years. He looked all right, to be fair. He's the only guy. He gets a free pass. I don't care. I don't care about what he did or didn't do today. Could have got maybe a bit of clearance on his head. Man ain't kicked the ball in 2.5 years. Fair play to him. Everybody else, shame on you. Everyone feeding the Glazers. Everyone completely buying into their nonsense. There's one thing to listen to it and say, okay, let's wait and see what they do. That's fair. It's always fair to give people time. But we end up back here every single time. I've been doing this stuff for Moyes, LVG, Jose, Oli, and we're now moving to the RALF era. I smell no difference. I see no difference. There is none. Niente, kaput. It's the same story. Drop your player agendas. They're just to gain traction online. Drop your manager agendas. They're just to be popular online. Focus on the real problem, the club, the mediocrity. Make them allow RALF to instill the changes needed. Allow the club to sell your favorite player. Drop your favorite player. Do what is right. No one will, though. No one will. And in 18 months, 2 years, we're going to be back here again on the hamster wheel. With little old me saying, I've been telling you all. Oh, but I wanted to buy my son the new kit. Tough love, people. Love is blind as far as the eye can see. The Spice Girls said that, and it's very true in this instance. Love is blind for some people. We're poisoning our own football club by supporting it. I knew it. I try to be positive about Man United. I always do, because I love them. I actually am in love with the city, the people, the club. They embraced me during a very difficult time in my life, and they made it feel like home. The club, its history, its heritage. I'm not saying it's any more special than any other club, but it is special. And I feel like everybody involved in that football club shits on that. And it makes me sad and it makes me angry. I don't like seeing working class people shat upon. It's my true passion in life. It's the only thing I really care about is protecting working class people. And this is why I'm so angry. It feels like we're being shat upon. I'm bringing the panel out after I do these super chats. I'm done. I'm actually done. I'm actually done now. No more positivity towards this club. No more if, buts, and maybes. We're shit until we're not. That's it. I'm done. I'm finished. Until we're back, we ain't back. Until we're winning Prems again. Everyone associated to this club backing it. I'm not having it. Done with them. Finish. Kaput. That was awful. And I'm not talking about how we pass and move the ball. Everyone will be focusing on the patterns and the systems and how it look. It's irrelevant. It don't matter. Pointless. My rant's done. Time for your super chats. I want to know what you've got to say. There's so many. Man United Conference League challenges, scary hours. It is scary hours, but we deserve it. And you can all banter me, but I'm agreeing with your banter. No triggered by the banter, because you're right. Banter's only annoying if it's wrong. When it's right, how can you be annoyed? It's hard, boss. You lose when you need to win. Always. The story of the last decade. When we really need to win, we lose. Every time. Arsenal and Spurs are so clear of United. Hashtag pathetic. It is pathetic. And do you know what? And do you know what's crazy, right? Do you know what's crazy about it is this? This isn't an attack at Ralph. This is nothing to do with him. Nothing. Niente. We've been here before. It's pathetic because we built a squad that should be able to challenge. And they don't want to rise to the occasion. They don't want to take ownership of that. That's why it's embarrassing. Because they're good enough to. They really are. On ability. But not there and not in there. That thing, their heart, none. Blow it up again. Like I said last week, every player bought in during Jose and before needs to go. They are born in losing mentality. Ginger Fury, long time no see, says Ronaldo is gone in the summer. Fact. How can you not see we need a midfielder? How did Scott and Matic stay on the pitch? I'm sure Fred and Donny would have done better. My club is failing away. It's embarrassing falling further away from the top four. Absolutely it is. Why is Fletcher telling Ralph what to do? This is not a reset. Are Man United a top four race or a top seven race? Playing better without Bruno lasted a game. Why should Spurs and Arsenal feel threatened by United? Right now, they shouldn't. Right now, Arsenal are favourites. It's more embarrassing for Man United to not make it than Arsenal because of where we started the season. But Arsenal are a superior team now. They have progressed and Man United have gone backwards. You can't get away from that. It's an unadulterated fact. Man United make an average team look like they're in amazing form. Outplayed, outworked. I feel silly for thinking United could challenge this year. Don't feel silly because this is what you're missing. You're not missing this. They should be. They don't have the heart to do it. They don't want it enough. They're not prepared to push through the barriers. They should be, but they're not. For the biggest reason, empty chests. Empty chests. Sorry, boss, love you, but Wolves. I hear that. It doesn't matter who or how many players you sign. They need a cultural rebuild similar to what is slowly starting to happen at Arsenal. Absolutely. Thank you for this amazing donation, Robbie. Long time no see. It says Happy New Year and to the rest of the team. Unfortunate that we lost today. Team looked lackluster. Midfield overrun. It is sad to see United fans are blaming players like Rashford and Bruno, where in fact the whole team did not show up. Exactly. We didn't have them on the pitch today and we're just as bad. I've been saying it for years. The focusing on individual players has been going on now for a decade. We've got rid of them all, got new ones in. Still the same crap. It's a madness. People just, I don't know what it is with people. They won't want to focus on a real problem. 35 years, Mourinho still a GOAT. Wolves away. Matinho still a GOAT. Sorry if I said Jose. This Man United team needs a rebuild. Get some players in January window. We are not good people. Terry, I'm with you. The rebuild is needed. It is needed, but I'm not around for it. I'm not listening to it. That'd be the fifth rebuild in 9 years. Think about it. If you buy into the Glazers allowing it to take place, you're an idiot. I will only believe it now when it's done. And it's only done when we're holding that Premier League trophy. That's it, point blank. I don't want to hear any PR nonsense. It's there when it's there. That's it. I'm taking each game as an individual. That's it. Expectations for the season? Shit. Are we going to win anything? No. Not. That's it now. I'm done. No more expectations to these mofos. We are not getting top four. There is no basics in the team. Lack the decision-making. Positional awareness. Work ethic. Greenwood sub. Had my blood boiling. Less bounce. Okay, cool. I'm not going to read that out, but thank you. Man United board never learn. We have just another PE teacher. Players don't respect the manager with no top-level trophies. Your players won't listen to Ralph. Man United players look distressed. Some of them seem as though they cannot be bothered and are petulant on the pitch. FYI, this is my first time Wolves have beaten us in 40 years at Old Trafford. That's absolutely correct, I believe. If the owners don't care about the stadium leaking and breaking down, do you think they care about a team winning? Of course they don't, Mo. Terry, I remember telling you this squad is dead food. You said it was better than Spurs and Arsenal. It is, on ability, in my opinion. It is. That's why it's embarrassing. I respect your opinion to say that it isn't. But for me, the reason we're failing isn't because of ability. It isn't even system per se. It's work rate. It's the want to win. Again, under another manager, where are we failing again? Where are we actually failing again? When we've got an opportunity to take an advantage. This is Ollie all over again. Now, Ralph's going to be given 2.5 years to rebuild this. My fear is I was told he didn't have to rebuild anything. We were told there was no need for a rebuild. So the fact they've lied before appointing him means I've got no faith in them allowing him to build anything because they've lied to us. It's mad. I'm not a cuck. You were not banging my missus in front of me and I'm stroking her hair. I'm knocking you the fuck out. Simple as that. Stand up. No cucks allowed, bruv. No cucks. I ain't listening to these lies anymore. Journalists start spouting about rebuild. They're getting blocked. They're getting blocked. I don't want to hear your bullshit. Stop sucking on the teat of the Glazers and stand up against them. I missed the super chat. I got to try and find it in the comment section. I'm struggling. There we go. Barca instantly improving under Xavi. Differences, they have a new and competent board. United going nowhere with the Glazers still here. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Someone says I'm rattled. Of course I'm rattled. Well done, Einstein. Of course I'm rattled. Been lied to by my club again. Cat Moon again. Can't keep taking Cat back. I can't keep anyone who ain't from England don't get that reference. But it stands true in my eyes. Stands true in my eyes. I can't get away from it. I think I missed a super chat from Ray. I'm going to go and try and find it. I'm bringing the panel out now. KJ's here. Man like Sonshine. Mo's here. Jess is here. I don't want to hear from Jess, to be honest with you. I might just kick Jess out. I'll be honest. I don't want to hear that. Passion boss. I got more passion than this team. I'd break my leg for my club. I'd break both my legs in the game for my club, especially on 200 grand a week. These guys wouldn't. Scared. Since April, Man United have not scored a set piece. I do feel your frustration. Mate, I'm not even, with respect, I'm not even worried about that granular detail. I'm focused on the proper problem at Man United. I always have been, always will be. That's it. Not having it. Panel time. By the way, before I do the panel thing, actually, big shout out to our title sponsors tonight, Fan Team. You can win. I've got to do this because they pay for it. So with respect to them, I've got to do it now. You can sign up now. £100,000 prize. When you register, it's free to play. £100,000 second chance fantasy football season starts in 11 days. If you win £100,000 cash, tax-free, costs you not a penny to enter, never going to cost you anything. Links in the description and in the live comment section. So get signed up after the game. 300 of you yesterday went and signed up, which is mind-bogglingly brilliant. So thank you. Go and get that done at the end. Panel time now. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. KJ, to you first, mate. What's in your mind?
It's done. Premier League season done already. It's flipping January. And we have to start again. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. I remember when Ollie got sacked, and the reaction shows, I wasn't bouncing for joy because like, oh, what are these guys going to do next? And then I heard Ralph coming in with the consultancy. I was happy again. I was all right, cool. Like this is what we want to hear, but it's still not confirmed that we're back. Still not confirmed that we're going to do X, Y, and Z. There's still a lot of work to do from the get-go. it's just showing that there's so much more work than just signing some young players and getting gas because Ralph finds some gems. We have to destroy it all again. The whole thing again. The game was a disgrace. Ralph. Let me start with Ralph. Ralph needs to stop picking a system that don't fit our players. Our players are not they have no desire as it is. So making them play a system that don't freaking work ain't gonna help them either. His job is to find solutions. If you've got your 4-2-2, 4-4-2, and if ain't working, find a new solution. Go back to what the subs today. Only just because Mason Greenwood got a little knock, you take him off when he's one of the best attacker on the field that we have. Not good enough. Playing 2 old man up front who are flipping stiff. Those 2 can't even flip and turn in the half space. They can't drive at the defense. And we're wondering why we can't get past a low block. They'd be bringing in a flipping defense onto us every single time we bring it into the forward line. None of them are shook. None of them are scared. They're not scared of Ronaldo no more. He's flipping old. You see an old man still trying to do skills. That man who's out there in the jeans and the youthful attire, trying to be cool again. That's what they see right now. Falling on his flipping ass, trying to volley a ball. You got Cavani doing no man's land, just running around screaming passion. Yeah, the greasy hair and that. Fam, 2 old man up front ain't working. We brought Jadon Sancho for the right hand side. Tell me where he's played the most at Manchester United. Flipping left. And I don't want to hear, but he's so much better on the left. He's clearly not for Man United. I don't care what he did for Dortmund. Man United, he ain't a left winger. Put him where he's supposed to play. Play Mason down the middle. Find someone to play left wing if Rashford's not the guy. Find someone to play Cam if is not the guy. We need to just destroy it all again. And that's the frustrating thing.
I hear you on that, KJ. We're getting real bad connection issues your end. It's really cutting out like every other word. I don't know whether it's Wi-Fi or whatever. Or I hear you.
Looks like a Wi-Fi issue.
Okay. Sunshine, how about yourself, mate? Like, what's going through your mind right now?
Everything, man. Everything from the point of calling out the absolute issues that the issues that are basically falling from head to toe, man. Like, just from everything. Everything's linking back, like, to the Glazers, Woodward, Matt Judge. Everything links back to them absolute fassy holes. You can talk about the game all you want. And I don't want this for the neutrals to hear that, wait there, you're talking about a football game of 90 minutes and you're talking about your owners. I know it doesn't correlate. But if you understand this, if you just understand, right, the players on that pitch, regardless of system and everything else, they were not bought for footballing reasons. We were not bought to fit a style of football. There was no structure. Every major sign that we've made has been for PR only. There is a mismatch of quality players. So when you get Ralph fans saying, yeah, but you've got Ronaldo, you've got Varane and Sancho. This is not FIFA, brethren. This is not FIFA. This is not you going, I'm buying the best players for my career and then I'm controlling the thing. That's not how it works. You buy a mismatch of players that don't suit any system, any structure. You buy Ronaldo when you needed a midfielder, which is pretty evident right now. Pretty evident. And then you go all the way back and go, well, why have we got these signings? Half of these signings are not managerial signings. How we can go back to Jose Mourinho if you wanted to, and then man didn't even want Pogba. Go look it up. Man did not want Pogba. But they've promised Pogba the whole world, say, we'll build a team around you. We'll build. Same what Terry said earlier in his solo earlier. That, again, we're being lied to. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and go, Ralph's appointment was the worst thing ever. Don't get me wrong. Ralph's appointment, based on his contract and him taking a consultancy role, is probably one of the best things that's probably ever going to happen to Manchester United. But in doing that and giving him the managerial role, you have to understand the position that Ralph has been put in beforehand. Ralph Rangnick is coming to this team. Bear in mind, he should have been here 2 weeks prior. 2 weeks prior to when he actually came in. But instead we carried on keeping Ollie, just doing a madness at Watford. Like, he's been set up with the biggest task you could ever dream of, first and foremost. People don't understand the depth and the roots of the issue at Manchester United unless you are genuinely a United fan to the core. They don't understand the issues that he has to sort out. Sorry, Terry, go on, bro.
No, I was going to say, like, a lot of people in the comments saying excuses, FC. And the point is, when you're talking about an individual game, you're right. People go, oh, you're blaming the Glazers for like the wrong subs today or whatever. What people have got to understand, this has been happening for 10 years under 5 different managers and four different squads. So you're absolutely spot on. That's more what my anger is about today is I just don't feel any different than what I did under every other manager. It's just...
Sorry, if I may.
Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry,
brother. Yeah, no, just saying, if for me, yeah, as I said, I don't want it to be misconstrued as they are the reason for this. What I'm saying to you is it's built and been led up to this. Now Ralph has now taken over. In 6 months' time, that will be when the best work starts to happen. But from this point right now, there are so many issues behind based on what's going on the football pitch that Ralph needs to sort out. Issues from Ollie's tenure, issues from Van Gaal, issues from Jose that are still there, issues that David Moyes pretty much set up when he ripped out the whole bloody culture of our club and everything else that was working. All those issues cannot be done within the space of 5 months and make top 4 and get rid of all the players you need to and build a system which, in my opinion, is so difficult to do in such a short space of time. It's not going to happen. And with respect to every United fan out there, I hope this is a wake-up call that you look at it and go, raw, we are in the stinker. I called it before he came in. I said, yes, it's great that he's going to be there, but I told you it will get worse before it gets better. And this is just part of it getting worse. Do not expect anything more.
I hear you completely. And I think what you've summed up there is really important, surrounding the fact that that's where my anger comes from. Today's performance annoys me, but where my real anger is, and I can feel it brewing inside, is, I know me and Jeff spoke about this on Straight Facts. It was this fear of, if we have to do another rebuild, I'm done. Because all the things that you're talking, and Baz said in a super chat just said, I'm going to get the others. I haven't missed the other super chats, people. We will bring them all up. But Baz put in a super chat, and I'm trying to find it now because I started it. He said, it goes, my man, we don't have a system. That's why this happens. Donny is a perfect example of a suited for a possession style, and neither Ollie or Ralph play him. That's why. But there is no style because the club hasn't created anything. Ollie was just, they told us we were creating something. It should have been whoever replaces Ollie will pick up what Ollie was trying to build and take it to the next level. We're now talking that we have to restart everything again. And we know that because this manager has come in and said to these players, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. And then you can tell they're not willing to do it. But if we'd really had that cultural reboot, that reset, that these players are here to win, they would just listen and they'd go to the next level. That's why I can't allow myself to get dragged in again for the 5th time in 9 years into tactics and systems and coaching and players. And we have to focus on the people running the club because they're the one common denominator in everything that has failed at this football club. We've got Domino, my Dizzy backstage. We're going to bring on real soon. I want to get a rival perspective on this. Jess, what are you saying?
Well, yeah, we've kind of already talked about the whole, sham of a cultural rebuild and, the powers that be at Man United kind of starting the process over and over and over again and not really building anything. And that you guys would know pretty quickly whether or not you had actually built something over these last 3 years. It's really unveiled itself quite quickly. But just to kind of bring it back a little bit to the match, because maybe some people want to just touch on that. I have to say that I don't find Man United's overall, the way that you guys play, even under Ollie, I didn't find it very good, but the quality has dropped massively. Like just even individual quality player for player is dropping every single game. Against Norwich, I think we had kind of talked about it. You got the dodgy penalty and then you didn't get it against Newcastle. And so you guys drew that game. Now you lost this one at home. You beat Burnley, but the signs have kind of been there. And even when we played against you guys, I thought you guys were there for the taking. There's just the quality level is really low for a team full of the individual brilliance that we know that you guys kind of have. It's very, very low. I mean, you guys can't pass the ball. Like I'm not even trying to be funny. You literally don't have a single player that could just pass to the next guy, pass into space with the right type of like spin on the ball or whatever. It is shocking. And after you watch, Manchester City versus Arsenal, where there was tactics involved, quality, passing, style of play, patterns of play. You watch Liverpool and Chelsea, style of play, tactics, patterns of play, high quality matches. To watch what I just watched right now is shocking. But nothing of what you guys have said, it has anything to do with what happened on that pitch. It's 100% that above level. But the problem is you can't get them out. So what do? They're not going anywhere. But what they've basically done is got you guys into this media frenzy hype train of Ralph is here and everything is going to come together. But, basically we're just going to start over. We're just going to start over. We built something that's kind of something, and now we're just going to tear it back apart. So you guys get excited about transfers again. You get excited about who's coming in, the new style of play. It's today's game was, and if you guys had gotten a point from that, you wouldn't have deserved it, because Wolves, a team that is not even that good, played you off the park.
Absolutely. Played us off the park. Embarrassing. And what you pulled on there are quality players in this football team that we've seen at other clubs and at Man United play good football. We have, but they're not like Greenwood. Again, like, I don't think he should. I thought he looked dangerous still, but some of the things that just crazy. We know Marcus Rashford's got a bad decision in him, but I didn't see anything different from Greenwood and Sancho in a decision making today to what Rashford does. Why is that? Why do all our attacking players? And by the way, they look no different to what we saw from the likes of Memphis 3, 4, 5 years ago. This is the thing. It's me and Jess have spoken about this on Straight Facts. About how do you know when your owners are good? You know when your owners are good through times of adversity, or when you improve, do they help raise you to that next level, or they allow you just to simmer and go stale again? And that's what this club does. I'm gonna bring in Dom as well. Oh my Dizzy, I know you're backstage. We'll bring you in as well. Mo's here with us. What you saying, Mo?
I would just want to talk about the game a little bit, but from the big picture, before Ralph came to the club, a lot of people said, is he good enough to take you through these 6 months? And people said, no. If he was that good as a tactician, as a game management coach, a lot of big clubs would have come for him, but nobody did. So to bring Ralph and say, take care of this club for 6 months until we figure out who's the next coach from the beginning is a bad decision. Yes, I know people talk about, this will be the best thing that happened to United in the last 10 years when he becomes that consultant. But now this is what you're going to go through. All you Man United, I saw Terry on his solo being really, really like, you're really nervous and then you're really like upset. And it's not good for any fan, right? But from the tactical point of view, and which is what I see in games, you tactically in this game have been outplayed in every single aspect, especially in the first half. And that comes down not only to the tactics, but I can see Greenwood not tracking back, Sancho trying, but not hard enough. 2 players up front with the combined age of 7 years old. And you can't have that in the Premier League and expect to win games and run when the Wolves team, they ran their asses off the whole game. But you have a 7 years old, 2 forwards trying to outrun these guys. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Tactically, I just want to bring one point. Tactically, the first half, everybody said that why Man United are losing the midfield. It's as simple as they play 3-4-3 with 3 guys on the left side, the left center back, for example, the left midfielder, and the left winger. But you only had 2 guys, which is Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka on your right side. McTominay is coming in outside to try to cover that area, leaving Matic by himself. This is why when Bruno Fernandes came in that midfield, it made the difference. You had the ball. You started creating chances. And these are all tactical decisions that Ralph gets it wrong. And he got it wrong today. And this is why you were outplayed in the midfield. In the first half, you didn't have the ball. You couldn't pass the ball. Also, going offensively, why Cavani and Ronaldo, both of them went to the sides? Who's telling them this? I'm sorry to every Ralph fan out there that's saying this guy knows what he's doing. Tell me, Terry, is Ralph telling them to go to the sides? Because you play 2 forwards and 2 wingers. I'm sorry, just let me finish this point.
One point. I thought you were asking me a question. Go on.
Yes, I'm going to finish the question. Then we'll let you answer. Why I'm playing 2 wingers and 2 forwards, and I having 2 forwards coming to the sides? Who are the 2 wingers crossing to? Are you telling me that these are players' decisions or coaches' decisions? This is what I want to know, because we can sit here and we don't know what happens in the training field.
I hear you. Look, I look at this a lot of the time as playing decisions. And I was talking about this in the first half. I get your point around that they had 3 in the middle, we had 2. I still look at a lot of the second ball challenges. I'll answer that part first. I don't know how to make this make sense. You know, like sometimes when have you ever seen someone run for a bus and they miss it and then they try and style the run out afterwards like they weren't running for a bus? That's what we do. We pretend we're going in hard. We pretend we're trying to win the ball. No passion, no desire, no heart, no willing to fight. I'm not going to use the word we use in East London. It begins with P. The second word begins with H. For people like that, soft is what we'll say. Soft. The second element is this. Our players make the easy runs. The only player that we have that likes to do the hard yards, running in behind, darting towards that middle, is Rashford. He is so out of form, he shouldn't be in this team. Everybody else comes for the ball to feet. It's the easy option in football. The easy option is to come, give me the ball to my feet. I'll just hold it up and make the flick on. Nobody wants to make the run that Raheem Sterling, during his 6 years of success at City, is making 100 times a game, busting his gut, making that diagonal run through the middle. Why? Because it's hard. It's hard to make that run every game because you might make it 7, 8, 9 times and the ball doesn't make it and you're knackered. It's easier to get the ball to feet and flick it on and pass responsibility. What we don't have is enough players. And I don't even have a go at Ronaldo. Man's a pensioner. He shouldn't be doing the pensioner don't do the hard yards. Other players in that team need to. Sancho, for me, doesn't want to work hard enough all the time. He always wants it to feet, which is great, but you've got to do both. You've got to switch it up and you've got to play it round. It's my only issue with Martial. Nearly always wanted it to feet, not making enough progressive runs in behind off the ball. These are the things. And look, the reason why I'm not overtly focusing on Ralph, again, it's 5 managers running that have done this. Ralph isn't also the permanent manager. We have to remember he's interim. He's going upstairs and somebody else is coming in. He hasn't been appointed at Man United as the manager to fix our problems for the long term on the field of play. The focus should be, though, we were told this squad, this team was absolutely ready to win from the off. We've got Igal and Tom and my Dizzy backstage that we will bring on. Stay with the Football Terrace and smash that like button. Dom's here with us now from United Source. What you saying, bruv?
Mate, I'm just, honestly, I just don't believe anymore, man. And I know Christmas is just gone, but I just don't believe anymore, man. I've been sold a sandwich and I don't believe in the sandwich. I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to eat it anymore. I'm done with this. You know what it is, right? And I don't like going back to previous managers, but look, we still talk about Jose and LVG. We still talk about it. So I'm going to talk about Oli, right? Under Oli, and you said a good point, Terry. Under Oli, it was about passion, and passion got us through games because every time Oli was on the ropes, flicking, going to do the Mysterio, flicking, spin, whatever, the Kurt Angle lock, right? We always won. And we saw Rashford pull up these shots, these passion, and we're like, oh, okay, so maybe the team do believe. Because remember, the team didn't actually hate Oli. They didn't believe him. They didn't know that he was good enough, but they still followed him into war, right? It was basically a war when you know you're going to lose, but they still followed him. What I'm seeing clearly right now is that this team is lacking the passion because they're trying to figure out what Ralph's trying to tell him. Ralph's trying to tell him something different. This team hasn't got the same passion they had for Oli. So what it is, we've gone full circle. We had Oli with no coaching ability, really. He even said it, and no experience, but with passion. Now we've got Ralph with a coaching ability, but no passion. So what we're actually seeing right now, okay, is they're trying to play football because no one's ever talking about, here we go, passion. No, Masaka, Space Jammed. Booker T, he's doing freaking free dancing in the pitch. You don't know where the ball is. This don't make no sense. Jess said it. The players don't know how to pass. Get off it. How can you not pass anymore? This don't make no sense to me. You were passing under Oli. We didn't see this Space Jam effect under Oli. It's because the players are trying to figure out this Ralph system and they're getting up in their head. Look, when you honestly,
sorry, go on.
Honestly, when you think about this, right? When a manager's putting a team together, think about it this way, right? You can put all the pieces together, but it's up to the players to show what they've been bought for, right? Just think about this way. Ronaldo, he's a genius, world greatest. He knows how to find the goal. He's been bought for a reason. You give him instructions, but you rely on him to do what he's been told to do. Sancho, for Borussia Dortmund, passes like a reflex. He passes like a reflex. He never really wants to score goals. He wants to be that side man. He wants to be that person, I'll lift you up. What's he doing now? He's flicking. Ronaldo's there. He passes that any day of the week, but he's trying to shoot. He's doing what Manchester United have been doing for years. He's been Manchester United. He's literally put on the red shirt and he's forgotten all his ability. This is so much bigger than we're seeing. And this is not going to get better because I'm telling you right now, everybody's trying to figure out this RALF system. They're trying to figure out the 4-2-2. It's not vibes. No, not one person on Twitter. If you look at all your Twitter feeds right now, not one person is saying freestyle FC. This ain't freestyle. This ain't freestyle. This is I can't kick a ball FC.
And bro, and do you know what the saddest? And this is where the anger for me stems from, because I was willing for the final time, and I said this for years, to believe that they were trying to do the right thing this time, build something and grow from it. Man City are not going to go from Pep Guardiola to Diego Simeone.
No way.
Because it's a cultural shift in football that the players are going to highly likely reject and go, hang on, I've been training in a certain way for 5, 6, 7 years. You now going to flip it. No wonder Greenwood is going backwards.
Exactly.
No wonder Rashford hasn't progressed. Rashford has had 4 managers now telling him 4 different things in 5.5, 6 years. How are you meant to develop in that environment? There needs to be consistency. This is why I'm angry. Today, losing annoys me. I like to win. My fear is everything I've said on stream. We've had Ollie out streams, Jose streams, spaces. I'm like, if we go in a new direction and start all over again, we're done. And we're done because we've never allowed one manager's way to prolong. And even if a guy comes in, Ten Hag comes in the summer, we start playing well, we're on the way up. Who's got faith they're going to let that continue? I don't. I have zero. And that's the problem. If Ralph's come in, and I mean no disrespect to Ralph, but if you run the club properly, it's like, Ralph, we do respect you, but we play a certain way. We can't just go from playing Ollie's style to trying to play a very detailed style of football that needs a lot of coaching when there's no time to coach because there's no space in between games. Why is no one at the club making this decision to say no? We played better under Carrick because there was a bit more freedom and a bit more of a factor because Ollie had gone as okay, it was going badly. We moved the ball better. We look better in Carrick's games than we do now. And our players tried in that first 35 minutes against Palace. And I really look at it from the point of view as this. They've gone, that's really hard.
It's hard work, man.
It's hard. But that's why, that's why Liverpool, and that's why, look, Arsenal, a great example. These teams that work hard with great technical ability and with good tactics, they're the best teams. You have to have both of them. All the eye test merchants and the passion merchants are all wrong. You need both together. That's what it's always been the argument. You need both. Without both, you're shit. Point blank, you're shit. You're poo-poo. Nasty.
Can I add on to that really quick? It's just like when I just see so much of something because, and I know it's like nobody wants to hear it because Arteta is like not a world-class manager. I hear that. But when he first came in, we played against Manchester United and Chelsea. We could only press. We pressed in those 2 matches 2 years ago for 20 minutes. 20 minutes with Mesut Ozil, Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe. And they couldn't do it. We kept losing game. Like we lost to Chelsea and I think we beat Man United, but it was like we really fell off. After that, Arteta got in a lot of pressure. So he had to change the way that he played all the way just to get through the day because those boys could not play that way. And they were lazy. They were lazy. The ones that couldn't do it, they're gone. Like they're gone. We'd have like a mass exodus. So that might be something that needs to happen because the players that you have now, I think I've seen enough that at least 4 or 5 of the people that start day in and day out, they're not going to be able to play this way.
Yeah, but
it's either
Ralph
realized
this already.
Right?
Ralph's realized this already. He stopped the geek and press after 2 games.
He has to make a decision. Either he continues to play his way and you guys continue to lose games, or he'll modify it, or a new manager will come in and modify it. And it'll be slower. It'll be slower because you can't get rid of 4, 5, 6, 7 players.
He can't modify it. He can't modify it because if he modifies it, that's basically him going against himself and going against his natural desires. His natural desire is saying he's done it for every team he's played in: forward passes, pressing, attacking, be fast, 1-2 touches. He wants to keep that, but he's really, as you said, Jess, he's saying that. Wait a minute, I haven't got the people. I keep changing it. I've left Bruno, I've left Rashford off because I know they're not on form. Let's see if this team do it. The team can't do it. The amount of back passes I've seen, the amount of not pressing I've seen. So now he's got two choices. He can either carry on with a 4-2-2-2 and keep counter pressing, but it's not working because the team aren't up to it, or he's got to change it. But if he changes it, that actually makes him look bad. That actually goes against his ethos, and really that makes
it's survival though. At a top club, you're going to be under so much pressure, because make no mistake about it, there's still requirements that Manchester United have to make. And in those requirements will make you have to make those modifications, or you say, guess what? It's going to take 2 or 3 years. We'll be in Europa. But you guys are going to like that.
I'm sorry. Why are you guys assuming? I'm just going to ask you. Why are you guys assuming that Ralph is actually can do this? Is actually a
Ralph ain't the manager. You got to remember, Ralph isn't going to be the manager.
Yes. Why are people saying Ralph needs to fix this? Not Ralph need to. Maybe he doesn't have this ability. Maybe he doesn't know how to do that. Maybe he's a very good consultant. Maybe he's not even good enough. Why are Man United people assuming that this guy is a genius?
Because
from where?
Because he's the one that's here. We can't say, oh, flipping Jose needs to fix it now. The man here, the person that's here is Ralph. Ralph is already identified. Ralph is already the one that has identified the fact that press ain't working. We stop pressing. Nobody's reverted back. He's slowly going backwards through his tactics and saying what's what, and it's gonna end up with it not working at all. So I agree with Dom. He needs to change his thing. I don't agree though, Dom, that it looks bad on him if he goes and reverts to something different. If anything, it shows that he's actually tactically aware. It's like, actually, I can't do what I want to do here. I need to revert to that flipping.
You know what? I agree with you, bro. Because if he was here for 3 years, then I would say no, stick to it. Because Klopp had to go with formation. He stuck to it. He lost games. He didn't finish good, and people were like, "Klopp's rubbish. Get him out." But because he's got 6 months, you know what? And Man United is so big, you can't lose games and have this rebuild, because we've got no more rebuild. I want to hear the R word. They said the rebuild.
I hear you. And on the thing with Ralph is a top class director of football, but that doesn't matter if he isn't allowed to implement the standards at the club that are needed. The standards of the club that Man United need are to want to win at all costs. Winning comes first. And we look at signings we've made over the years, and sometimes we're all very reactionary as fans, and that's normal. That's fine. Cavani signing is still one of them, where you think the money we pumped into him, it was wrong. We were meant to be signing Sancho, then we didn't put it off. So in the last minute, we signed a Cavani, who is, in the last year, you've just seen him get that bit older. He's think about how often he's actually been available to play with injuries and travel and everything else that's gone on. He's missed so many games that you would want him here for. It's like we don't sign the right players at the right times. We make so many mistakes. And if Ralph's, again, I don't want to hear the word rebuild. I'm not going to buy into anything until it's done. The facts are, though, we do need one. It feels like we need one to play the standard of football needed to win trophies. My fear isn't about who's the right or wrong person to do it. It's whether this board allows it to actually happen. When you've failed 5 times in 9 years, and it's the same people at the heart that are running it, how can you have any faith? It's ridiculous. Like I said before, if your wife is cheated on you 5-6 times, and you take her back, do you really on the 6th attempt go, I think this time she'll stop screwing around? No, you kick her into touch metaphorically, and you move on. And that's
we need a blip. We need a blip. We need a marble blip to get rid of some people, and we start again. There's no surprise.
We don't want the Avengers to win. Let's keep these people gone. That's what I want them out of it. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go to Gal in a second. I've got some super chats I've got to do. What one am I at? I'm a Liverpool supporter, but I feel bad for you, Terry. You're a devoted fan, and I appreciate that. Team full of talent, but no heart. Need a clear out and a strong manager, because these guys don't listen. Thank you, Deborah Luck. You are saying Ragnick will solve the issues after 6 months. This was heard during Ollie's time as well. There is no guarantee with this lot. I agree, Robbie. You're bang on. My respect for Jess for not bursting out laughing is what's being said there. Man United never did a rebuild. Just keep buying hype players and thinking 1 + 1 = 3. Trust the process. And this is what we've got to be careful of. There was a very good podcast I listened to on Stretford Paddock, where they had a guy who's very well respected. Everyone loves him. Can't remember his name now. From The Athletic, and he spoke about all the things that are being built and done. I'm not saying he lied as a journalist, but he got lied to. So my view now is that same journalist, if I ever see him again say they're rebuilding, they're doing all these things in the future, I can't trust you. I expect the journalists now to say, we don't believe you either because you've lied to us now 4 times. Do you know what I mean? I'm pure Chelsea, as you know, boss, but Wolves need a real top 4 back. So this Ralph fella taught Klopp, Nagelsmann, and Tuchel all they need to know. Well, obviously they didn't listen. Well, look, as I would say, some of the greatest boxing coaches in the world are not world champion boxers. Ralph going upstairs could be good for the club. I'm not holding my breath because of who runs it, but him as a manager, I thought we'd see better football instantly from him. I did think there'd be a spike in football. That thing hasn't happened at all, and it's very painful to see. Ralph is going upstairs in 6 months. Then he needs to drop his system because it's not working and go for what will work for 6 months. I mean, what he should probably do is just go and get Michael Carrick back for 6 months and let Michael Carrick run the team. We want Ten Hag, but realistically, Poch might actually be the man. Need someone who can do a long-term rebuild, who thinks we can play. I mean, the thing is with Poch might be better suited to get in this team with what they know to win. Ten Hag's system is probably harder than Nagelsmann's.
Oh, mate, it will take 2 years. We'll lose every match. It'll take 2 years before it comes through.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, you don't have the technical quality to play Ten Hag.
Yes.
Pass the ball.
Did you see Wan-Bissaka today? Did you see him?
Terry, you remember what I told you last time? Who chose this kid to play football? As a youth player, who chose this kid? I want to know this guy who chose this kid in a parent tryout.
It was a Kinder Egg. You know the Kinder Eggs, right? They gave out Kinder Eggs to every person a trial, right? It says, if you get the toy, you win. Aaron Wan-Bissaka was like, Mama, he got it. Because I'm sorry, you're not a professional footballer. If you're doing stuff like that, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
What's crazy about it, though, this is why I do think there's a work rate issue here. Because the low's been dropped again already. Like, and I sometimes think in football, there's things we don't see as fans. We all sit there when every team plays in the Prem and say, why is he not playing more? He should be playing. Why is he not getting chances? And we don't see it because we don't see what goes on in training. I think there are things within football we miss with our eyes. We don't have the knowledge these people do, especially at the highest level. But there has to be something in it where I couldn't believe AWB was back in the team again today. Especially when we had to put him into a wing-back role, when we went to we almost went to like a back 3. It's like, and then when he had that moment where he went to cross and then he kicked it with his standing foot, I was just like, oh, my days. Like, I just laughed. It was so painful. Igal's here. What are you saying, Igal?
Man, you. I love it. This season, I'm absolutely loving your games. You know what? At halftime, I was watching some broadcasts and Andy Cole was saying this is a typical Manchester United performance this season. And you know what? This season, you guys have been playing like a mid-table club. You got battered by Leicester. You got battered today by Wolves. And these are your competition at this point. At the end of the day, this season, Manchester United have been an absolute underwhelming disgrace. You guys expected to strengthen your team with Cristiano Ronaldo, the best player in history, and Varane. The jury's out on Varane today because he looked like the worst out of the two. Phil Jones came into this side, who hasn't been playing for you guys for years. He was getting bodied in under 23s, and he came in today and looked like the better center back out of Varane and him. It's crazy. Also, Jadon Sancho, he could have easily squared the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo. You would have been 1-0 up at that point. But you know what? Once again, his decision-making letting you guys down. In my opinion, the formation you guys are setting up with let Wolves right through you guys like a knife through butter. And the way you guys played the whole entire game was absolutely embarrassing. After one second half came on and you guys tried to change it up, Bruno came on. He had a good chance. He missed. But after that miss from Bruno Fernandes, it didn't look like you were going to ever score. You could have done this match reaction at the 80-minute mark, at the 70-minute mark. You wouldn't have scored. You already knew the game was done and buried with 20 minutes left in the game. And also, I don't even come on after Manchester United games, but I'm going to tell you this right now. All the Manchester United fans who are laughing at Curran, laughing at these guys who are saying, you know, I can see Manchester United dropping off, make your apologies as loud as your laughs were at the beginning of the season, because he predicted it. Big up to my guy. And you know what? At this point, it looks like Manchester United are just going to completely continue to fall down, because I was saying this earlier. Your performances look like you were just nicking it. They were not convincing performances, even though you guys were scoring goals. Ronaldo was getting you through. Your talent is obviously stupendous. You could still turn it around maybe, but at this point, it does look like you guys are fading away. And every single week you drop points, the games in hand are becoming meaningless, because now you got one game, and even if you win that game, you're still behind the 4th place spot. So let's keep it real. I don't think your top 4 hopes are there. Just try to get yourself some form. Try to get yourselves regrouped. And why on earth would he play? Would he drop the lot for Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Why on earth would he play Luke Shaw? Why would he do these things? You gotta question the guy. Even though he's not going to be the manager full time, you can question him. And your board, you can make fun of your board, you can make fun of Glazers, you can make fun of everything. But where was this energy at the beginning of the season when guys were predicting you guys were going to win the league? When I get
wait, no, you can stop. No, you can stop. No, you can stop. No, you can stop for. You can stop for 1 second. You can stop for 1 second.
1 second.
What? You can step for 1 second.
With all due respect, sorry, to come on here and accuse me of not ever having go at the Glazers is a fucking
no. That's not what I'm saying.
Then why bring it up? You know I've been on their neck since day dot. Don't lie.
No.
KJ, 1 second. Everything else you said was bang on facts. Couldn't agree with you more. Barring Varane being bad today, right? Bang on. But don't come here. Don't ever come on the football terrace and tell me I ain't called out these Glazers consistently. Don't ever do that. I've sacrificed introducing my children to the football club I love because I won't give them any more money. So don't come on here and tell me I don't call them out, irrespective of what I expect this club to do. I sacrifice a lot to have a go at those people. Just don't come on my channel and lie about me.
I'm not talking about you,
Terry. I don't think
you're talking about me.
This is not about you.
He's not talking.
There's a whole fan base out there that are, irrespective of what you say, there's a whole fan base out there that bought into the hype and believed that the Glazers turned it around. And with Cristiano Ronaldo coming in, they lined up.
No, Igal, this is why I want you to stop you. This is why I want to stop you. You are the man that came on here and said Ronaldo was the grand plan of the Glazers all along. He's going to come in like they did with Tom Brady. They're going to buy him. They're going to come in and Man United from therefore can go and win the league. So don't come here talk about gas and hype when you are the man who made this grand plan of the Glazers to come and win the league. You invented that in your head. So don't come here and say that Man United fans bought into the gas when you bought into the flipping gas, fam. You did too.
You want to know why?
So shut your mouth at that point.
You know what? You want to know why? Build you guys up and watch you guys fall. That's what it was. I'm happy. I'm not gonna lie. Rivals, we always are gonna be.
Why would you say that?
I don't come on after Manchester United.
Say that on flipping.
I'm just gonna make this statement right now. I honestly don't think you guys are gonna get improved. I don't think you guys are gonna catch us. I don't think you guys are gonna at the end of the season get back into this top 4 form. You guys have a long way to go. And with utmost respect, Manchester United should move away from this terrible recruitment system. I thought Cristiano Ronaldo was going to work out. He seems like he's more of a hindrance, and he's hurting the development of your young players overall.
So you thought he was going to work out, or you didn't and built us up to crash?
I thought he was going to work out personally.
So you didn't build us up to crash us down, then you thought it would work?
I thought it was going to work, but at the end of the day, now that it's crashing, I'm happy.
Oh, so okay. I get that point. I'm a bit confused. But like I say, no one ever come on my channel ever and tell me I don't call out these Glazers and never. I'm always skeptical every day.
He weren't talking to you, man.
Well, I felt like he was personally. You Man United fans, and he's talking to me and you and Man United fans. Don't ever I never have enough.
I specifically said there's a group of Man United fans online that constantly said they're going to win the league. I said, and before I even finished, I said, yes, you said that, but you said it jokingly. You weren't saying it serious. KJ never said it. KJ never backed the whole thing. You're going to win the league. But yes, there were a group of fans that completely gave up on this Glazer out thing. Were lining up in trodes and making a record sale for that Cristiano Ronaldo shirt when he first signed. And you cannot tell me that all those people didn't buy into the hype. A lot of people were saying quadruple. They were saying you're going to win the Champions League. They were yelling. When Oli got sacked, I heard people saying, we're back. We're back. We're back. But reality, back to reality. That's what it is. That's what
as I say, mate, there's always excitement and you can look at it. And I stand by what I said at the beginning of the summer. With the squad we've got, we should be challenging. We should be.
Terry, I'm sorry. Can I ask a question about the Glazers? Specifically about what I said. You guys are not happy about them running the club in terms of management appointment or buying players because they pumped like the Maguire, Varane, Ronaldo, Cavani, Sancho, all these kids, and the academy. You guys brag every day. All the Man United people, they brag with Greenwood, Rashford being from the academy, McTominay being from the academy. What are you guys asking for exactly? What needs to change from the management?
It's too long to go into now on this stream, but what needs to change is, first of all, is not rewarding mediocrity. So you don't give players that are not winning titles 200, 300, 400 grand a week contracts. you always you create, first of all, before that even, you create a system which is a club system. So you're never going to get another Fergie that can run a club for a quarter of a century, ever. But you don't need Fergie to have a Fergie. You create a club ethos and club system that you hire head coaches to come in and manage, but they manage and play to your style, not theirs. You manage and you buy players for your club system, not theirs. They can come in and, of course, add their own style to it and help you progress and grow, but it should be within line with how you want to be as an organization. You can't imagine, like, every time a manager takes over a store, you know, you revamp everything, you rebrand, you make different foods, change menus. You'd fail because you'd never create the continuity to make consistent consumers come back and buy your products. The same works in sport. There needs to be a consistency of training, ethos. Think about Marcus Rashford, a great example because of how long he's been here. Even Anthony Martial. They've had 4 or 5 different managers, 4 or 5 different systems, 4 or 5 different training teams, 2 or 3 different squads they've had to play with. How are they meant to get better? When you go to a team like Brighton, take it away from big clubs. Brighton's football club, from the under 5s, male and female, right through to the first teams, they all play the same style, same systems. When they loan one of their females out, 17 years old in their academy, to a team, it has to be a club that plays a style of football that they believe is with an 80% match of what they do to create the continuity. That's how a great club is run, pound for pound. Pound for pound. Bayern Munich. I remember someone saying Bayern Munich sacked a manager and went and won a treble. Why don't we just sack a manager? We can win a treble. Because the head coach just comes in and manages the squad that's running a certain way. High standards are needed at the football club where every defeat means something. It is a bad feeling. There has to be a level, an up change for you to come into. You need high standards where coming second is seen as failure. Where not winning is painful. Man United's biggest focus is making money. And until the biggest focus is winning trophies, we'll never be successful again. You get those fundamentals in place, and then, of course, the right people running the football club, it can help you. That's why fans overly are excited about Ralph, because Ralph could, if they give him the power and control, help orchestrate the team into a position where it might be able to build back towards that again. I have no faith in them allowing him to do that over the course of time. So I suppose that's a very one-stop shop answer. I want to bring some more people in. Mo, thank you very much. And Dom, thank you both very much for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, gents. Thank you. Omar Dizzy's here. Tom Little's here as well. What are you saying, Omar Dizzy?
Wow. There's a lot going on. First of all, KJ's face when the guy was speaking was hilarious. I'm a United fan, and that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Egal, you gotta love him. He's an insufferable Arsenal fan. That's the second thing. Third thing, what's it? I feel like when we signed Fergie, I think we might have made a deal with the devil, because it seems like at this point, no matter what we try, it just doesn't work. Nothing works.
Sold our soul for 13, bro. That's what we did.
Yeah. No, in fact, because if you think about it, what's it called? Hire a set piece manager, not a set piece scoring. What's it? We're leaking goals. Get Rafael Varane, arguably one of the best defenders of his generation. We can't keep a clean sheet to save our lives. We're not scoring goals. Martial and Rashford aren't clinical. Sign Ronaldo, the most clinical man on earth. Nothing. Cavani, nothing. It's oh man, it's hilarious to me. But I'm resigned to the fact that we're gonna be ass for a little while, and we're just on this ride, see where it goes, see what happens. I don't know.
How about yourself, Tom? Sorry, go on, KJ. Sorry, go first.
No, I was about to reply to that super chat about being the next. Like, we're not going to become. We already are there, bro. Like us and Arsenal have been the same for years. It's just that now Arsenal, they've shaken things up and they're on a better trajectory right now. That's all it is. We're already there, bro.
Meltdown incoming, but it's fine.
Tom, what you saying, bro?
Is it worth Ralph just going upstairs now? Because that squad does not want to play his style. He's in such a weird position, because if a director of football, as an interim, he's got the chance to shape how he wants this team to play so he can recruit. But he's going to have such a big job this summer, because half the players in that team either don't have the ability or don't have the desire to actually play the system that he wants to play. And he's not going to... I think he's in charge of your next appointment. You'd hope he is. And he's not going to appoint a defensive manager who's going to suit these players because he doesn't know how to buy players for that. He's going to appoint a manager who plays the style of football he likes and use a horrific time in your transfer windows. I mean, the most confusing part of this summer for me was Sancho. You signed him as this right winger who was going to re-energise you. That was the missing piece, and you've played him everywhere but right wing. Greenwood has been playing on the right for the whole season. Jadon Sancho has been playing left wing for the whole season, but he was supposed to be this right winger that would reinvigorate you. The Ronaldo signing, great. We just need to get the ball to him. So what do you do? Play 3 shoot-first attackers around him who aren't going to pass the ball. The problems at that club and that coaching staff are just so mind-boggling. I don't get how they're actually in a club of this size. For as long as they've been, nothing they do makes sense. No decision they make makes sense.
Very true.
It's true.
You sit there as a rival. I love it because you're a crap. But I also feel like a bit sorry because it's like when you see that horse that's just past it and you know they're coming on the end and it's just painful to watch because there's nothing from you and it doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon.
Can I say something? Can I add something to that? Like, I think the most painful thing to watch, because it's not something that I feel like, you know, obviously I'm kind of like Tom, where I'm like, it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of like great because I'm a rival. But Greenwood, he is suffering massively at Man United at this point. His development has been halted. If not, he's going backwards. And he is your generational talent, and he's not being managed properly. I thought it was strange from the very beginning, bringing in Ronaldo. I know that it was like, okay, well, we don't want him to go to City, so let's bring him in. The media is going to tell you that it's because of his great work ethic and his mentality and all of this. All you guys have done is halted Greenwood's progression. That's pretty much it. And watching him come off of the pitch today was like, what's happening here? He was in front of his development. He was already putting up numbers that some strikers will never even dream of putting up in their whole entire career. And he just looks a shell of himself. He's playing off of the right-hand side. It looks like he's trying to force himself into relevancy because Ronaldo is obviously like the main guy and everybody's meant to pass to him. But so he's taking pot shots from everywhere on the pitch. It's really sad to watch him kind of dwindle in the way that he has. It started obviously like last year with the whole Foden thing. They went out, blah, blah, blah. He just hasn't come back into the forefront. And like, this is what happens. Your good young players fall through the cracks when you're mismanaged. And this is somebody that could save your club, even though I know you guys don't really care about money, hundreds of millions of dollars, because he's already going to be a world-class player.
He's the reason why we don't sign Haaland, and I want it to happen. We don't need to sign him because he's there, but we're too busy doing a 4-4-2 and not even including him in a 2-man up front. We're playing 2 old men who are flipping stiff. I've said it already today. We can't. Mason Greenwood is great at getting the ball, going on the half turn and starting to drive, and then playing off somewhere, taking a shot. We're putting 2 guys up front now who can't do that. So Mason's trying to do that from all the way out wide. Because he's out wide now, it takes longer for him to get into the box in that area where we know he's flipping excellent, which is finishing with either feet. A lot of this season's problems, you can stem it down to the sign of Ronaldo, but the overall arching problem comes from up top.
Are you guys going to eventually call out Varane's performances? Because I felt like
Varane was fine. I don't know what's the call out.
I felt like out of the 2 center backs, I felt like Phil Jones was a better center back.
Cool,
Phil Jones caused the flipping goal.
That's
for sure.
That's fine. Look, if you thought Varane was bad, cool. I didn't think I actually thought he was one of his most comfortable performances tonight as a centre back for us. Personally, I think he did okay. They had a lot of shots tonight. Wolves. Everything was like pop shotty. Really, like we didn't really break through the back line. Of course, when Traore comes on, he's always going to cause people problems when he's running covered in oil. But again, there was a time where Varane and him were outside. I thought, he's isolated, and Varane just stood there waiting for him to make the first move, and his first touch put it out for a goal kick. Back to Jesse's point around the development of players, like We can look at the Ronaldo coming in thing and say that's a problem and everything else, but it's the Man United players, all of them. And this is why when the focus is on Bruno and Rashford, it makes me cringe. The same as when the focus is on Pogba and Martial, I cringe. It bores me to tears because whoever plays, everyone looks the same. We're a team full of individuals. You saw it tonight. So yeah, Sancho running through should play an easy ball into Ronaldo, the greatest goal scorer of all time. You back him to score, doesn't play it. Later on in the same half, they're running through. Cavani has the ball in the middle. There's two past either side of him to play either player in, Ronaldo in or Greenwood in. Goes for the thunderbolt, flies over. There's a time in the second half, Greenwood's running through. This time he does decide to play the ball, but he plays it behind everybody. There was another time tonight where Sancho was on the left. He cuts in. This is where you want him to take a man on and have a shot. Doesn't. He tries to square it back and nobody's there. The decision-making is awful. Rashford did it. He should have played an overlapping pass out to Luke Shaw. He doesn't. He runs into a cul-de-sac and gets caught out. Everybody's trying to be the match winner. Everybody's trying to be the main man. And it's because that's what the club has allowed to become part of our makeup. It's individualism at all times. Everybody wants to be the superstar. That's why I get annoyed when people focus on Bruno, because I look at it and think, he ain't the only one, G. It's every single one of them. And this is because the club allows it. And that's why it's so hard for me all the time to sit here and just like listen, not to you lot, not to the people in the comments. The viewers are the most important people on the terrace, and they know that. It's more listening to people search for the reason when it's like, but all these little individual reasons you're given are kind of fair and fine, but they're not the problem. Why are we focusing on the headache and not the big fucking tumor in our brain? The tumor is causing all these side effects. So focus on the tumor. Until we get it fixed, that's why what Jess said is bang on. Until we fix what's really wrong with the club, all this stuff is going to persist. We sign world-class players, they look average. We sign hot up-and-coming individuals or promote them from the academy, they all go backwards. Even Bruno, that felt like the first signing that came in and did well straight away and maintained it, has now gone backwards. That isn't an Ollie thing, a Ragnick thing, a Jose thing, an LVG thing, or a Moyes thing. It's a Man United issue. And I know people, like fans, don't like that. They want you to slam. They want you to call Sancho a fraud. They want you to call Rashford a flop. They want you to have a go at Bruno. And you will for their individual mistakes. But there comes a point where everybody's doing the same thing, same mistakes under various managers. It just becomes too tiring to shout at those people and be angry at those individuals. And it's the Glazers. It's the Glazers every single time. And I know they don't manage the team, but they set the standards at the club. And I spoke with Jess about this a few weeks ago. I look at Arsenal right now. The improvements are there for everybody to see. But if they miss out on top four, what's their next move? If they make top four, what's their next move? Arsenal Football Club have to strive to win league titles. Not now, not next season, but eventually. If they make the top four, good owners reinvest more, buy more, improve the squad more, make it ready to go to that next level, which is getting top four comfortably and being a step away from challenging for a Premier League title. If they don't do that and they buy nobody, you look at your owners and go, but what do you really want? Do you actually want to get to the top? Are you actually wanting to get back to the top again? And it's when you set that standard in that achieving fourth place is kind of okay, you allow mediocrity to become part of your squads, part of your teams, part of your club's tapestry. And that's what United have allowed to happen. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And then we can focus on manager and him not getting this right. But when you foul 4 times on the bounce, I just find it too difficult. Again, whether I like Haaland or Greenwood, I don't care. We're going to foul either way. It's just, for me now, all these conversations just feel arbitrary, pointless, stupid, as if we're going to win. As if anything's going to be any different. Haaland will come in and he'll start banging in goals. And then he'll fade away and get called the Norwegian David Nugent in 2 years' time, because he'll go backwards as well. They all will. Everybody has. It's a madness to me. Josh, go on, Gal, go on.
Genuine question, guys. Not even bantering. Take the banter away for a second. Do you guys still see anything salvageable from this season?
Hell no, bro. We need to start again.
No. I don't think this season we win anything. I think we got what Terry was saying about the whole mediocrity thing. I think you got to start addressing some of the man that's just been kicking ball for years that have no business kicking ball. McTominay, we've seen what he does. He has a good game and then he'll go missing for 4 or 5 games. Fred, we've seen what he does. He'll have a good game and then go missing for 4 or 5 years, but they'll get new contracts. In defense, Phil Jones, you can't slate him today. He played decent, but the fact that in 2022, Phil Jones is kicking the football for Man United is insane.
Preach it, my brother. Preach it, my brother.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though, Miguel? And the Phil Jones example is great. Scott McTominay too. Jones looked good today. We'll play him in the next match and he'll be awful. Scott McTominay against Burnley was excellent. Today, awful. I don't remember a time, barring Bruno Fernandes, I can't remember a player having 3 or 4 games on the bounce to Man United in 9 years where they've looked good 3 or 4 games on the bounce. What I can't remember happening ever is having 4, 5, 6. Look what you've got right now at Arsenal. Smith Rowe, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, scintillating form.
Yeah.
All at the same time for 5 or 6 games. I don't remember the last time the last time I think United did it was when we beat Spurs, City, and Liverpool. I don't know which order we played them all in. It was Juanfield with the overhead kick. Those 3 games were pretty much on the bounce. There may have been another game in between them, where for 3 games, Rooney, Mata, Herrera, Fellaini all played really, really well. We just don't do that as a football club. There's zero consistency.
Let me say this right now to every single Manchester United fan who said after the Wolves game, this was Ollie tax. There's no more Ollie tax, because you look back at those performances now and you've seen the writing on the wall for what was going on for this season. If you're going to use that as a reference point that you've seen the problems, you can no longer refer to the beginning of the season as Ollie tax. You have to say it as the writing was on the wall. You've seen this coming. The manager change, whatever. The players were not good enough. If you're going to blame the players, you can no longer use Ollie as an scapegoat for your form at the beginning of the season. That is the reality of the situation.
We can, because it was like we saw it coming under Ollie. What we didn't see it continuing. So we can't say that. You know what I mean? We can't say that. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. All it is that Ollie's gone. We thought that he would get better. He hasn't gone better. The issues are very, very deep, and we have the choice to make. And that's what it is. Go ahead.
And this is one of the, sorry, go on, Diz. Go on, mate. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
More so to the point, I think my question is, what are we doing here? Why are you trying to retroactively kill football fans for being optimistic? Backing your team is part of what we're doing here. So to say, now, no, go back, you was wrong then. Well, you're optimistic. You're a football fan. You have to have belief. If not, why are you watching? What are we doing here? You're optimistic, and people kill you, but you go overboard with it. That's the only thing. That's why you get
well,
killed.
I mean, Igal is a rival fan, so we remember every little thing that you say, and then when it doesn't work out, we don't have the like, well, you have every right to be excited about it. We just kill you just like that, you know.
We do it in reverse.
If you guys won all your games and you're ahead of us on the table right now, you'd be slating us, and I would not be here.
I would be slating you. I'd just be gassed because we've been in the pits.
Gal, that's one of my reasons for my outburst, and it's there because I haven't slated Arsenal this year. Like, when you've had bad performances, I've said you were bad, but I've spoke about how good your summer transfer window was.
Right.
When most Arsenal fans were saying it was rubbish. I spoke about your slow and steady progression. I spoke about the corner that's been turned, especially after the Everton game. I'll sit there and praise where I need to praise. The fact that I think I predicted you guys coming 6th. Like, I'm happy to admit you're better than the team that are going to come 6th right now. You're doing very, very well indeed. I think that's part and parcel of it. There's being fair at the right times. Equally, though, it's about, you know, what you said about the Ollie tax thing. And I get you've come on the terrace and you're addressing more than just me. I've been saying this the whole time. I knew Ollie had to go, but sometimes I sit here and think, you like ask that you say that like I haven't been sitting here for 2.5 years saying people that think just sacking Ollie is going to fix Man United are stupid. I've been saying this. I've been doing that, and it's kind of sometimes I sit here and I want to pull my very limited amount of hair out where I sit here and think instead of asking that question, it's like you just come on and praise Curran and be like, "Oh, Curran was right about this." Everything you've just sat here and challenged the club on about Ollie tax and about this not happening and the Glazers this. This is what I've been talking about for 2.5, 3 years since you've kind of been involved in the terrace. And it's a madness to me, bruv. Like, it's like you don't hear me say it. And then you come on and go, guys, you're going to say that Ollie tax weren't real. Like, you're looking at the man that's literally
Ollie tax was real.
Well, it wasn't. It was real from he made mistakes and cost us things. But I said to everyone, if you really believe he goes and we suddenly become this team that's ready to go, I just didn't feel it in my full belief.
Okay, but Terry, instead of addressing the question, there's KJ sitting right next to you saying Ollie tax is real. Why don't you address him?
What do you mean?
Instead of addressing the question, KJ was challenging me saying Oli tax is real. So why don't you address him?
No, it was real. I'm not saying like it's completely the fault of Oli. I've never said that. Even in many conversations I've had with people,
Again,
I've always been honest with
Oli
it.
cost Man United games. There's no doubt. But you're not listening to my point. Oli being sacked, I never truly believe would make. Sorry, what?
It had to happen. Yeah, I know.
It did, but Oli being sacked, I never said there'd be. I never believed that we'd suddenly become this team that would go toe to toe with Liverpool and City in the league, because I didn't truly believe that behind the scenes we were ready for it. I was hopeful we were. I always look for the green shoots of hope. I always look for the positivity as much as I can. Okay, well, maybe this will work. Let's see here. But I've always err on the side of caution when the people running the club have been failing for a decade. That's my point to you, bro. That's my point. Yeah. And Igal might, you know, and that, you know, KJ might think Oli tax is real. He might think it might play more of a role than I do. But I know that I don't need to challenge KJ per se or Neeks. They're two Man United fans that I know put the Glazers at the front and center of where we are. So I won't overly challenge them because I know what their true beliefs are. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's all.
Yeah. Okay. And also, I think at this point, two things can be true at the same time. I think Oli cost us points. That's also a fact. But also, there's deeper problems that is also a fact at this current moment. And that's just what it is.
No, and do you know what I say about the Ronaldo signing? Again, my view of Ronaldo sign was this. Man United won a lot of games through individual brilliance. Signing Sancho, Ronaldo, and Varane, where that gave me hope is we finished second last year for individual brilliance. So you then get to a point where you think we've just signed three players who are renowned for individual brilliance. Therefore, there should be more games that you can win with these guys in your team. It had the complete opposite. And most people, to a degree, including yourself, Igal, like kind of agree with that notion that they'll probably get better. Games like today, there'll be that moment of brilliance. They'll win the match. The crazy thing is that expectation crippled Oli and the team, because now it's like you have to work for that. And they're not prepared to do it. It's weird. I don't understand their logic, their mindset, or why they are where they are. But I agree with you 100%. One thing you said that's right, Igal. All those Man United fans that lined up and bought Cristiano Ronaldo shirts, part of this is on you. And you're absolutely spot on with that element, because you're funding the monster that's holding us back. It's terrible, really. Sorry, Terry, Igal as a rival fan is entitled to banter United fans. Apologise to Igal. Igal, get them. I'm sure Arsenal will start losing when they do. If Igal was upset by my getting angry, then I'm sorry for that. But for me, I felt like he was addressing me. And if anyone challenges me on my Glazer stuff, I'm very, very emotional about it. So that's it.
If people want to hear it, I'll say it. Man United are not in the top 4 race. Heck, I don't even know if we're in the top flipping 6 race. You know what I mean? Like, it is done. Like, you know what I mean? Like it is done. And people want to be saying, you're not saying the truth. Yeah, the truth is that. The truth is that. And we end up getting it in the end, then cool. But from this point going forward, I am not expecting it. I no longer believe it is possible. It's now about what Dizzy said. Go January. It's January now. Get rid of the players that been here for time that don't need to be here. The Matters, Lingard's, Joe, like the fact that Jones is still flipping here. You know what I mean? Get rid of them, man. The matches, all of them, man. Get them gone. Start building again. And heck, one sec. So instead of sending all these kids out on loan who deserve a loan, like Laird, Mengies, and the Twanzebes, screw it, bring them back. Just bring them back.
At least
and just play them instead.
At least they'll care.
You know what I mean? At least they'll put it on the line.
You guys are 4 points behind with a game in hand. You're not out of the top 4 race. It's just going to be more difficult.
I think we are.
That's the issue.
I don't think we can all sit here and say all these things we've said about Man United with no fight, no hunger, no system, no tactics, no work rate. With how Spurs are playing but getting results and how good you are, Chelsea and Liverpool in front of you. I understand. I voted Man United on your poll the other day, Jess, where who's it more embarrassing for if they miss out? It's still Man United because of where we started at the beginning of the season. But from this point, you and Spurs are better than us and should be finishing in front of us this season.
Bro,
it's interesting. We admit that we're bad, and now I'm getting in the comments, you guys are just finding a scapegoat. You're trying to lower the expectation. But then if I sat here and said, no, we'll finish in front of Arsenal, everyone would go, no fucking way, they're better than you. Which is it? Is it?
I just had a shattering realization. My bad, real quick. Ronaldo in the Europa League. Oh,
No, that's
I
not
don't
happening.
know.
Champions League
Listen,
grand in
He'll
Europa.
go. Like, there's no way he'll play in the
He
Europa.
ain't playing, bro. He ain't gonna be no Europa. He ain't gonna be there, bro. He ain't gonna be there. Yo, Champions League Varane.
Thanks.
Champions League Varane will still be Champions League Varane because he'll be on loan. Someone playing Champions League. Like,
Okay,
listen,
let me just say this though.
give me no Europa. Give me nothing. Give me flipping 8th. Give me 8th right now.
Let me just give Terry his flowers because you went against your own fan base when they were constantly berating Bruno Fernandes. Today, every single person, even the biggest Bruno hater, was saying you guys needed him in that game when you guys couldn't break them down.
But yeah, he still didn't turn up when we needed him.
I know he didn't score, but he was the only person who actually came in and did something.
Yeah, but he has the fire. He has the desire and all of that. His individual brilliance will get you over the line, but he still is kind of like the odd man out in a system when you're trying to play a 4-2-2-2-2, so it's still a little bit of that. It doesn't go together.
That's true. And he's only one man. And the difference is compared to the last few years when we made top 4 and you had a Bruno scoring the goals, Arsenal weren't as good as they are now. Tottenham weren't as good as they are now. Chelsea weren't as good as they are now. And I know that Chelsea have gone for a bad run, but they will come good again. And I think Damasio and a few have reported that the talks between Lukaku and Thomas Tuchel have been very positive and they're all at peace and he's going to be back. And there'll be an uplift from that. Like Lukaku will play his heart out for at least 5 games and there'll be a bounce from that. And it is what it is. So look, I look at it this way. Look, Man United fans have got to start to come to that realization. The only way we turn it around from this point, the only thing I would say is if we can turn it around and start performing, there's enough time left. But I don't have any faith that we're going to turn it around and start performing. So you can't sit there and predict something that you can't see coming. I sat down for tonight's game. And I could tell after 5 minutes, I went, oh, it's going to be awful. You could just see we weren't on it. We weren't at it. And it's just, it is what it is.
Your defensive shape today, sorry, but your defensive shape just mind-boggled me. When Wolves were winning it back off McTominay, because McTominay was just on his own in the midfield at times. And then they'd win it back, and Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka would be too far up. So you'd have a Semedo and Podence on the right-hand side on a 2v0 because you'd have formed a back 3 with Nemanja Matic at the heart of it. Like, it was just the most mind-boggling thing I've ever seen. Like, Luke Shaw was bombing on because that's obviously what he's been told to do. But he's bombing on too much, so then Nelson Semedo didn't even bother tracking him half the time because he'd run offside, and then there'd be so many overloads.
That's an issue. But then it was weak. It was weak losing the ball in the middle. We were losing it cheaply. If honestly, if Liverpool lose the ball cheaply in midfield, you'd get exposed like that because your fullbacks bomb up as well. It's about ball retention. But most of the time we were losing it. For me, when I'm watching, I'm just seeing a man that ain't up for a fight. I'm seeing a geezer who's got a man's shoulder.
Start and then stop. They start the run and then stop when they can't get there.
Coutinho was like going shoulder to shoulder. Like Coutinho should not be out muscling McTominay. McTominay's a 6'2" geezer. Coutinho's my height. Like if you see me scrap to a 6'2" guy and he's above me and I'm out muscling him, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the big guy, and I will do that to most big guys. I'm only messing. I'm just saying that because I ain't scared of a fight. I ain't scared of I'm talking sporting wise here. I'm not talking real life having a row. I go onto a football pitch. I go into a ring. I get onto anything. I'm willing for the fight. I'm up for it. And in fact, when it gets physical, that's more of a buzz. That's like, come on, then, let's have this. And people don't like hearing this. It's why City and Liverpool have been so good because they are up for the fight most of the time. They're not shrinking violets. They don't fall away. In those years where Arsenal started to fall away from Man United, it's because Arsenal lost. You think about Arsenal's best team. Vieira was what amazing footballer, but he was a nasty son of a bitch. Man, he was nasty. Emmanuel Petit get right stuck into you. Lauren, honestly, I hated these guys because they were against my team, but I look back and respect them because they could play ball. They could have a fight. They'd get stuck in. And every now and then they'd pick up a red card that was needed to let everyone know you don't mess with us. And they were a brilliant side at doing it. This Man United team is as weak as gnat's piss. It is flaccid. No balls. No, but it is. It's floppy. Honestly, no, there's nothing. Nothing. That's what I think. I think that's why the fans have become cucks because they're flaccid. So all they can do is watch. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. I've got some super chats to do here. Bring the kids back. Laird Gardner. Don't say Laird. KJ will, like, be able to. I'd love to see that. Just see KJ's face. Back a critic Christmas. Galbraith, Levitt, Hannibal, not Williams. Williams can stay away. Elanga, Mengi, to show some heart and desire. But there is an element of me that's like,
Terry, can I say something?
Yeah,
Like when we were originally like after I think Newcastle, when it started to become like a little bit like, okay, something stinks around here at Manchester United. That was what I was like, y'all need to bring them kids back. Literally, they're the only ones who fight for your club for free. They're the only ones who will do it. And like, I would not be surprised if at some point you see some kids start some games, because I thought the most heart that I seen was when the kids played against young boys. You didn't win the game, but at least y'all were trying.
They were trying.
But,
I agree.
Yeah, they're trying, and half the good ones are on loan right now, so it's kind of peak right now.
No, I get
How much money is Brandon Williams on? Didn't he get like a big contract?
Yeah, he got like a 50 grand a week contract or
Yeah,
something.
don't bring him back though. Okay, all the kids, don't bring him back though.
He's the biggest fraud of a left back I've seen.
There's a comment here though that's like a stupid point, Terry. Isn't N'Golo Kante one of the shortest players in the world? Again, N'Golo Kante doesn't win the ball back. He does win the ball back a lot. Let me make sure I word this right. It isn't because he shoulder barges everybody over and out muscles them. It's because he beats them to the ball, because his reading of the game is sublime. He also has the work rate and energy to keep going at that rate all match. That's why he is so good at what he does. But also, he ain't scared of getting stuck in. A little man will beat a bigger, stronger man in a fight if the big guy's scared, if he's holding back, if he doesn't want to go for it. You've got to show some authority in there. You've got to show again, you've just got to be willing to get stuck in. And I know people don't like these terms and phrases because it was a bit old-fashioned and British. It ain't British. The Italians do it. Bonucci and Chiellini are not English, but they are hard as fuck, bruv. Do you know what I mean? So go and watch some Argentinian football and see how passionate, aggressive, and physical it is. It's not an English thing. It's a fucking football thing. You tarts. It's a football thing.
Talking about Argentina. Talking about Argentina, Julian Alvarez probably looked that game. His agent looked that game, and after the meeting, after the game, was like,
"He'd rather stay at River Plate, bruv. Stay in Argentina, Julian Alvarez. You go backwards, bruv. You go backwards. I'm telling you. Listen, everybody that's tuned in, thank you very, very much indeed. Everyone who's been on today, Sonshine, Mo that came on, Dom was on as well, KJ. Dizzy, Tom, of course, Jess, and of course, Igal. Thank you all very much for making the show brilliant. Does get heated sometimes. It's the nature of the beast. Okay, cool. Thank you very. I think I put most people's super chats up there today. No, don't stop. I know you want us to stay, but I've got to now go and cry. Essentially, on camera. It's simple as that. Until next time, people, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.